Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at the Lowe's in Allen, Texas, off of McDermott Road. As always, please make sure you guys are hitting the like button and also subscribing to my channel. I do daily 1 hour plant shopping videos, and I also can be reached out at Instagram at Growfold, so please follow me there as well. But as you can see, what a beautiful sunny day out in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at. And this is a particular Lowe's that I like to visit. You can see that their outdoor section is extremely packed with a bunch of plants. It is day 2 for spring, and you can see right over here, gorgeous looking pink jasmine. Love me some jasmine flowers. I'm thinking about possibly getting me some Arabian jasmine, but this one right over here is for $29.98. This one takes full sun. It's growing up a trellis and it's starting to bloom. I do love some jasmine plants because they have such delicate looking white blooms, and you can see they've got lots and lots, I would say hundreds of different types of plants available for the outdoors. And in this episode today, I want to actually venture into potentially taking plants that are really meant to be outdoors and potentially growing them indoors. So we're going to take a look at that. But right now we are looking at a bunch of these petunias, hanging baskets. There's tons of petunias. And as we walk into the outdoor section, we can see that there are so many plants, hundreds of plants available at this Lowe's location. We've got some marigolds right over here. Not a bad price at all for some marigolds. Now with marigolds, they're very easy to grow. They need full sun to really bloom. Actually, most flowering plants do need full sun or a lot of bright light, just because it does take quite a bit of energy to produce blooms. And you can see right over here, they've got some more petunias and some more mandevilla flowering plants. But you can see they've got landscape, tropical. So these are specifically tropical plants that you can grow out in the landscape. Now, if you live in North Dallas, these will not survive if you plant them in the ground. Typically, for tropical plants, you have to put them in planters so you can potentially overwinter them and take them inside when it gets to be super cold, or we get these freezes during the winter. And you can see right here, Acer palmatum, or Japanese maples is what they're also known as. Love me some Japanese maples. So for those new to the channel or just getting to know me, I actually love Japanese maples. I have a Japanese maple collection in addition to all of the outdoor and indoor plants that I currently have. Now, Japanese maples, they are so elegant, but the thing about Japanese maples are you have to grow them in more shade versus like full sun. Most varieties, I would say a lot of the varieties wouldn't be able to do it. Like you can see right here, this one is a lace leaf maple. This is a crimson queen Japanese maple. And I like the fact that Lowe's and all the other big box stores actually have Japanese maples available in larger sizes. Typically for Japanese maples, they're more of like a specialty sales type tree. Now, if you're looking for some really good Japanese maples to buy online, I would recommend MrMaple.com, Mendocino.com. And if you're a local plant foldie, and if you're new to my channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. You can go to Metro Maples, which is a Japanese maple or a maple nursery out in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm planning on actually visiting that. My friend Scott Hubble actually runs and owns that business. What a beautiful place to check out. You can also get some rare azaleas. But you can see at this Lowe's location, gorgeous looking Acer palmatum or Japanese maples. So plant foldies, let me know if you grow Japanese maples, what you think about them. I dream about going to Japan someday and being able to see all of the Japanese maples, as well as like cherry blossoms, anything Japanese related. I really like. I like Japanese food, just the arts in general, and even just the location. So that's some more content that I'm potentially going to get onto the channel. But as you guys can see here, look at how the light hits these leaves. Gorgeous looking Japanese maple. Now we're going to walk over here and look at some hibiscus. So they've got different varieties of hibiscus colors. And you can see right over here, this is these Rio planters, I guess these tropical planters that they have. We've got a bunch of other combination tropical plants, like we've got a cordyline or tea plant with mandevilla flowers. I really like that a lot. And this particular cordyline plant looks to be a little bit more chocolate brown. I did like seeing the ones from Home Depot from our previous premiere. So if you haven't caught that video, please check it out. Hashtag team replay it. And you can see here we've got some more mandevilla flowers. I'm just going to pan on a lot of the outdoor plants right now. So I hope you guys stick around for the indoor plants. But for now, I'm going to be showing you guys some outdoor plants because I am in the hunt for a couple of plants that I might grow indoors eventually. Somebody had told me that a lot of plants can actually be grown indoors. It just really depends on the lighting conditions and just the care. So we're going to see what that looks like. But you can see right here, we've got another combination tropical planter in Calathea plus mandevilla. And then we've got even more hibiscus here. My family's from the Philippines, and in the Philippines, they call hibiscus gomamela. I've said this in previous videos, but gomamela or hibiscus grows so well in tropical settings like the Philippines. I saw a bunch of cool variegated hibiscus on an Etsy shop called Green Escapes. So we're going to see about possibly purchasing from Green Escapes. I know I recently put in an order for some white fusion Calatheas. I've been growing Calatheas in hydroponics. And for those who don't know what hydroponics is, it's basically growing plants directly in water with no soil substrate or anything. And it's really worked out well for me, especially for plants that are super thirsty and finicky like that. Yes. Anyways, we're going to be looking at some knockout roses. Knockout roses are very easy to care for roses, and they are profuse bloomers. Now with roses, I've had a rose garden before, a variegated rose garden. You really have to give them a lot of space. Do not top water them. So basically don't spray them with water. Their leaves don't like to get wet, because if you get them wet, they're more susceptible to fungus diseases, that yellow disease where the leaves turn yellow and black. I forgot what it's called, but that's really the demise of my rose garden. And here we've got some Croton Petras for $19.98. Gotta love some crotons. With crotons, you want to grow those outdoors. That is a plant that most people will try to grow indoors. If you do grow a croton indoor, they need a lot of light, so bright indirect light or just full sun. And here we've got some more knockout roses. These are the double bloom varieties. Knockout roses have been around for a while, and what I like about them is they really do bloom and rebloom. Now with roses, if you ever have these rose diseases, the best thing to do with roses is literally to hack them and chop them all the way down to the base. They typically bounce back when you do that, but roses do need a lot of bright light, full sun actually. They do better in hot weather, and don't top water them. That's my best advice for roses. And you can see they've got some more wax begonias right over here. Now with these wax begonias, I have to still replant my wax begonias. I bought that several weeks ago because I intend to grow them in planters outside and eventually bring them inside. But here is one of the plants that I do want to try to grow indoors. I remember getting purple shield plants a couple years back and growing them indoors. They did okay. And you can see that this one is root bound. This one is for $8.98, these purple shield plants. Look at the gorgeous looking purple it has. I love dark foliage plants. I love purple plants. And this is one that I knew I could find at a big box store. And purple shield plants, the thing about it is these don't need full sun. They actually prefer shaded, I would say shaded situations is what I'm saying, rather than full sun. So this will possibly work indoors. What I do plan to do is just grow these out in my patio until it gets really hot, and then we're going to see about bringing them indoors. I think growing most plants outside, even indoor tropical plants, if you grow them outside, they typically thrive and do better than growing them indoors. There's just something about a plant being outdoors. I think it's just the natural habitat of a plant. So we're going to see, but I do love the purple shield plants. Look at these right here. They've got a nice shine about them. It is really a dark purple tone. And I'm thinking about getting a lot of purple plants today. This one's for $8.98. I do plan on repotting this if I do buy it. Plant foldies, anybody watching this video at the moment, please let me know in the comments if you would grow a purple shield plant or if you've grown them in the past. My thing about purple shield plants is They can get leggy, so you're gonna have to trim them back to keep them bushy, but we're going to keep walking around here. I mean, this Lowe's is one of my favorite Lowe's to visit because they have really good indoor plant selection. I already saw them watering the plants, the indoor plants. What they'll do is they'll take them outside, water them real quick, and then bring them back inside. What else do we have here? We've got some roses, some more different types of roses. This one has some more variegation. Look at that. That is stunning. I would love to be able to grow roses again. There's just a lot of plants. So the thing about me is I don't really discriminate when it comes to plants. I love outdoor plants, indoor plants, aquatic plants, whatever plants you get. I'm even thinking about actually getting a bunch of cool looking aeoniums, which is another type of succulent, because I always mention that I don't know a lot about succulents, but that's in the works. Anyways, we've got some more azaleas here. These are the encore azaleas. So encore azaleas can bloom 3 times a year. Usually azaleas will only bloom around this time, which is spring, but encore azaleas have been pretty much hybridized, where they found certain azaleas that had like reblooming properties and bred them. So these are really cool. I do like this one. This one is the Encore Azalea Bonfire. It's more of a dwarf type azalea, so it can spread to about 3 feet in width and then 3 feet in height. Those would really do well in smaller space landscapes and Japanese gardens. And then we're just going to pass by a bunch of these other plants, so you can see for some reason they've just got a lot of Boston ferns available to purchase at any big box store and even grocery stores. I'm not sure what the abundance of Boston ferns are. They kind of remind me of plants like bromeliads and phalaenopsis orchids, where they're just readily available. So I don't know if there's just a high demand, but anyways, we are gonna walk over here. So I saw this plant a little while back, a couple days ago actually, and I was like thinking I would possibly grow this. This is a variegated boat lily or some type of tradescanthia, just a larger mounding form. And I love the variegation on this one particularly. Look at this. I'm gonna definitely buy this. This was for $8.98. This has some beautiful pink and purple variegation. And so I am gonna just keep collecting some purple plants or pink plants. You know, those are one of my favorite types of plants. But this one I'm gonna take. Now with this particular plant, it can get leggy if you don't give it enough bright and direct light. It will not really do well, or at least I was told it won't do as well in just full sun. So this is part shade. And since, you know, if you look at any outdoor plants that are part shade, that means it could potentially grow indoors. So that's the thing I want to try, is actually growing this indoors. I will repot this in a better planter, but alongside with the purple shield plant and then this variegated boat lily, those are the 2 plants I want to purchase today at this Lowe's. $8.98 is not bad. I love the look of it. And we're just going to keep walking around the outdoor section. I'm about to go inside to check out what they have indoors, but you can see they've got a bunch of Croton Petras right here for $19.98 in 10-inch planters. Crotons are a love and hate type plant. Some people love them, some people hate them. I think crotons get a bad reputation just because they can be finicky plants. I think with plants like that just really require a lot of light, they will definitely be dramatic if they don't get the lighting conditions and the care conditions. They literally will drop their leaves. I remember importing a rare type of croton from Indonesia called a croton milk, where it had just like albo variegation. It dropped all of its leaves, and I did bring it outside about 2 weeks ago, and it's in full sun, and now it's starting to shoot out some buds. So that's the thing. I really think that crotons do better outside. And you can see we just passed by like a Japanese Aurelia or a Fatsa japonica. This is another plant that I don't know the plant ID. I recently bought a Fatsa japonica camouflage, a variegated green on green Japanese Aurelia that I intend to grow indoors. Right now it is out in my front patio. And so we're going to see if I can grow that. But that's the thing about growing plants. It's just experimenting and seeing what they can grow. And you can see some more Boston ferns right here, 2 for $24. These are lush and full Boston fern hanging baskets. Now for the folks that are watching this video, let me know if you guys grow ferns, especially specifically Boston ferns, what your care tips look like, and do you enjoy them? And this is another one. So these are some Ajuga reptans. So these are basically ground covers. These Ajuga variegated ones I do love. So this one is for $468. I am going to definitely pick up this plant as well because I want to try to grow this in a planter and possibly bring that inside and grow them indoors. These are easy to propagate as well. They're crawlers, so they will actually become good ground cover. You can see this one has a little bit of a purple bloom right here. I first saw Ajuga out in Austin, Texas, actually at a local plant nursery called Tillery Street Co. And I thought these were really cool. They have many different varieties, but this variegated version is super cool. Now, if you have a Ajuga variegated form like this one will need a little bit more bright and direct light to really get that nice cream, pink, purple variegation. But yes, this is definitely another plant that I'm going to get. And these are all partial shade, partial sun. And these are some large periwinkle plants. This one was one that I thought about possibly taking indoors, but I held off from that. And then guys, Hydra Helix. This Hydra Helix, I just love saying Hydra Helix. I know that is not the correct way to say it, but Hydra Helix, this one's for $468. At least they are actually marketing these plants to be grown outdoors. So if you don't know a lot about English ivy, but basically English ivy are also supposed to be grown indoors, or what they're marketed for, but they are so finicky when it comes to being spider mite prone. They are known as spider mite magnets, and that's what makes them very challenging to grow indoors. Here we have some foxtail fern. I thought these were asparagus ferns, but look at how cute the texture of the fern looks like. I really like that a lot. And it's one of those ferns that, you know, I just really enjoy. One that I would possibly add in the landscape. So we'll see about that. And then we've got some more Boston ferns right here. I always look at this particular shrub because it's got some cool variegation. It almost reminds me of a croton gold dust. And then we've got some more alocasia right over here. These are for $19.98. So big box stores actually have some really good plants. And then right next to it is another cordyline plant. This is an Auntie Lou cordyline for $19.98. This one is saying that it's partial shade, but honestly, I think if you grow cordyline in full sun, they'll do very well and give you the best type of variegation and coloration. Like look right over here, they've got some pink ones, and you can't go to like a big box store, a grocery store, or any store that sells plants without seeing a bunch of hydrangeas in pots right here. So these hydrangeas are gorgeous. I love hydrangeas. They're acid loving plants. So if you're going to grow them in a landscape, make sure you amend the soil, make sure that the soil is more acidic. You can do that by adding a bunch of used coffee grounds. They do very well. It's really good fertilizer actually. And in here they've got some large indoor tropical plants. We've got some aglaonemas right over here. We've got some majesty palms and some large spathiphyllums. And on this side, we've got some succulent, some type of blooming succulent. And then we have some more Auntie Lou cordyline plants. I love me some cordylines. After going to that Home Depot where they had that like intense crimson red variety, I'm thinking about getting a large cordyline like this and just growing it out in the landscape and then potentially trying to overwinter it. So we'll see. Best of luck to me, right? And then right over here, we've got an aglaonema white rain. I love aglaonemas, one of my favorite plants. This one's for $29.98. That is not a bad price at all for aglaonemas. Look at that variegation and even that subtle yellow glow around the veins. And then the classic aglaonema silver bay. I'm thinking about just getting one of these large aglaonema silver bay. Mine is taking forever to grow. And that's the thing, the only drawback about aglaonemas is that they are a very slow growing plant, but they've got so many varieties, shapes, sizes, leaf textures, even stem colors. I love wide stem aglaonemas. I think they are so gorgeous. I mean, it's one of those plants that just has so many varieties and they can tolerate lower light conditions. They thrive better when you underwater them, and I consider myself an underwaterer, not because I don't want to water my plants. It's just because sometimes I get inundated with lots of work and I just have like a very busy day every single day. And you can see right here we've got some more hydrangeas. These ones are for $32.98. Not a bad looking hydrangeas. Now with hydrangeas, depending on the soil pH or how acidic the soil is, these hydrangeas can actually change in color. They can either get more pink or more purple or more blue. So I think that that's really cool. Now I don't think that these would be able to take full sun as advertised on that little nameplate. Hydrangeas prefer more bright indirect light. They prefer shade. They need to be protected from the late afternoon sun. I haven't had the best luck with hydrangeas. I've tried to grow them in my landscape in the past, and for some reason they are just not able to do so, at least in North Dallas. That's where I'm based at. But look at the coloration of these plants. I love those pastel colors. A lot of hydrangeas come out around Easter, so maybe this is the time to purchase hydrangeas, but we'll see. Now we've entered what I'm sure most of you guys wanted to see, and that is the indoor tropical plants. Now this particular Lowe's is amazing. They always have full selection of plants. Their plants are always merchandised well. They're always healthy looking, and I just really enjoy that. Whoever runs this particular Lowe's department for this indoor and outdoor section does an amazing job, and their staff are super nice. I would always say that I get great service whenever I need some help, but let's just look at all of these plants for a second. And as you can see, this Lowe's is super full. So my plant foldies watching this video, let me know what you think about this particular big box store out in Allen, Texas. You can see they've got these gorgeous aglaonemas arranged by species, and you can see Aglaonema Maria right over here. This one is for $15.98 in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms. So I do like these self-watering planters. The only critique I would have for this particular planter is I wish it didn't have that texture. I honestly wish Costa Farms would just have gone with a more modern finish, which is like matte and smooth. I do like this aglaonema. So if you are a Grow Folds follower and if you watch my videos, you know you're gonna see in Aglaonema Red Siam. This is probably the second or maybe even first most common aglaonema you will find alongside with the Aglaonema Silver Bay. But you can see that this has not pink Siam, this is the Red Siam, and you can see that it's got some really nice variegation to it. The stems are more of like a pink tone or red tone, and you can see here actually one of my favorite plants. I've really grown to like the Raven ZZ. ZZ plants weren't a thing for me, and this is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant for $19.98. It's another self-watering planter, but with ZZ plants, I used to not really be into them because I'm like, they were super slow in growing, but they're very good plants to have, especially if you sometimes neglect your plants. They actually thrive with neglect. Same thing with this Aglaonema Pink Siam. Now this is the pink version. You could see that the stems are a little bit lighter. They've got this like pastel light pink color about it. And the thing about these particular aglaonemas, which are also known as lipstick aglaonemas, is if you give it more bright indirect light, the outlining of the pink will be more pronounced. And you can see what a sea of like, black Raven ZZ plants. Really love that a lot. And then look at this bird's nest fern, how large it's already gotten in a 6-inch self-watering planter. But we're going to walk over here and I'm going to show you this particular aglaonema. I bought this not too long ago as well. This is an aglaonema two-tone moonstone. Really cool looking aglaonema because it looks like a sparkling Sarah, but it is not. It's got a lighter variegation on the pink. It's got white, and it's just got a nice looking tone. It even has like a subtle pink vein. on it. So there's just a lot going on with that. That is a trending tropicals plant for 1998 in a self-watering planter. So really nice job to Costa Farms for really just releasing some new trending tropicals. I recently found a rare Dieffenbachia called a Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. If you haven't checked out my video, that is one that you might want to see. Super cool looking plant. And in here we've got an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Now this pothos plant is one of the plants that I've said it in so many of my videos, but that usually brings people to houseplants. That is usually the houseplant that starts your houseplant journey. Very easy plant to take care of, one that I would highly recommend. And then this is another Dieffenbachia. I talk about Dieffenbachias a lot. This one's actually on clearance. You can see that somebody's marked out the scannable barcode, so this will be 50% off. This one is typically, if it's in a self-watering planter, for $15.98, so that'll be 50% off. If I didn't have any Dieffenbachia, I might consider getting this one, but I just definitely not I said it's Dieffenbachia. That is a Dracaena. Sorry guys, I don't know where I'm at today, but that is a Dracaena. But Dracaenas are easy to care for plants. They can tolerate lower light conditions and be underwatered. They don't need as much water. But I wanted to show you guys over here what a cool looking Aglaonema red Siam. This one has a lot of red and pink, so you can see that this Aglaonema is gorgeous. The more light you give it, the better coloration you're going to get from these red, colorful Aglaonemas. The Aglaonemas that are more green can tolerate more lower light conditions, but to get the best kind of coloration and to get your Aglaonemas not to be leggy, you want to give it a lot of bright indirect light. So just more tips for anybody who wants to grow Aglaonema. And you can see we've got a Dracaena marginata here, large bird of paradise, more hanging baskets in the corner and the back. I'm going to take a look at those specifically. And then you can see on this side, we've got another Dieffenbachia. And yes, I said the right name for this plant now, Dieffenbachia maculata. Highly variegated Dieffenbachia. I mean, look at that. It reminds me of like an Aglaonema spring snow. The only difference is with this particular Dieffenbachia, you're going to need it give it a lot of bright indirect light. Dieffenbachia will let you know if they're not happy with their lighting conditions by dropping their leaves. They get very leggy very easily. So just, you know, if you're going to grow Dieffenbachia, and they are gorgeous plants, although from what I've heard and what my viewers have said, Dieffenbachia can be a little bit more challenging to grow indoors. I would say if you're able to grow them outdoors in like a shaded patio, I would do so. And let's see, we've got Calatheas. This one is a Calathea medallion for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. I have found the sweet spot when it comes to Calathea care, and that's to grow them in hydroponics. So basically what I would do is take this plant, purchase it, and then I would hose down and clean down the roots as much as possible to where there was no dirt, and then stick it in just water, and it's basically self-caring at that point. And then right over here, we've got a Ficus lyrata in a self-watering planter. This one is a little bit more compact. This Fiddle fig leaf for $15.98. With Ficus lyrata, they can get large. You definitely need to give them consistency, meaning once you take this plant home, find a spot that it's going to stay, keep it there, and make sure that you have consistent routines around watering it, pest control, all that good stuff. And then right here, we've got Calathea Green Goddess. It's actually one of the Calatheas that I want to add to my collection. Not because it doesn't, you know, it has all of like the different colors. I really like it because it's more green. It doesn't have that purple underside on the leaves. There's just more green around it. And that's the thing about plants. I know we've talked about this before, where we run for like variegated plants. I myself am included, but I do prefer sometimes just having really lush green colors in my plants, and they're a little bit more hardy when you think about a green plant. The variegation can't photosynthesize, so it doesn't really like give the plant a lot of nutrients. But anyways, here is the Calathea dotty. I do like this a lot. I already have a Calathea dotty. As you can see, it's got dark foliage, nice purple and lavender color. Look at that beautiful purple underside. I have mine growing in hydroponics. It is finally starting to push out new growth, so I'm really excited about that. You know, when you acclimate plants to a hydroponic situation, they do have a acclimation period where they may potentially decline in health. Some of their roots might rot off. off, but don't, have no fear. What you need to do though is when you first get them in hydroponics is you need to do frequent water changes in order for the water to just have a lot of oxygen for the roots. But look at all of these plants here. Every time I go to this Lowe's, they always have full plants, whether it's in the winter, spring, fall. I'm sure that this Lowe's is always taken care of. And you can see here, Dracaena basangiana, or the cane Dracaena. These ones you typically see at like corporate offices, businesses, doctors' offices. But I do encourage everybody to potentially grow a Dracaena Masangiana. This one's only for $22.98, and you get a really large plant. These are typically grown because they can tolerate lower light conditions and neglect. And you can see right over here, we've got another palm for $22.98. Look at how large that palm is. And then we have Majesty palms. You can never run out of Majesty palms as well, although that one's not looking as healthy. It's got some yellowing going on. And now we're going to be looking at some urban jungle and live trends plants. Like this one right over here is a ZZ plant. Look at that. I actually like the planter as well. It's got a modern take about it. May not like the particular color on the blue plant, but I am very particular on some of the planters I have. And you can see here they've got a lot of live trend hanging baskets. Look at these cute live trend planters. These rabbits are so cool with a little bit of an air plant right here. It actually gives you that candy vibe, and this one's for $7.98. So that's the thing I appreciate about Live Trends plants. They have some amazing planters. They definitely go for that modern vibe, and you can see right over here we've got some Haworthias. The only thing I don't like about Live Trends is they kind of go overboard with the top dressing. Like, I don't think that they necessarily need to put fake moss there. Honestly, the fake moss actually would attract like fungus gnats, because say if you top water, that moss will just keep a lot of moisture in, and that's just not good for the plant. And here we've got some air plants in these cute little rabbit, I don't know how you would call it, just a rabbit fixture with a little clear bowl for those air plants. And then this is a gorgeous looking Calathea. Now, plant foldies, if you're a Calathea expert and I can't find the price for it, please let me know what this particular Calathea plant ID is. I actually would love to buy this Calathea. I'm just not going to spend $22.48 though for this Calathea. What makes live trend plants expensive or a little bit more costly is because of the planters. Honestly, I would rather just choose the specific planter versus paying a little bit more, but some people want that instant gratification as well. Speaking of instant gratification, this is a Nanthe plant. Look at this gorgeous looking green on green variegation. Like, I often see these in smaller varieties, but if I wanted instant gratification, I would totally buy this for $22.48. That is a nice looking plant, and I have a Stromanthe Triostar, and it is doing amazing. Actually, haven't had to give it a lot of humidity, but you can see that is the price right here, $22.48 in this teal or light blue planter. And you can see this is happy because it's got some new leaves starting to unfurl. So what a nice looking plant. And then we've got some ferns. This is a hurricane fern right over here. I do like the look of the hurricane fern. So I've bird's nest fern. I might actually start with this one or just a regular bird's nest fern when I decide to get a fern. We're going to see about that though. So there's just a lot of plants. I talk about that in all of my videos of what plants I want to get. But you know, when you are doing daily plant shopping videos for at least an hour, you're always going to run into plants that you want to get. Like for instance, this one right here. This is by Live Trends. Ficus Elastica altissima, gorgeous looking Ficus elastica. This one is an okay variegated one. This one is got some green on green variegation. You can get better variegation when you give Ficus altissima a lot more bright and direct light. It is a nice looking Ficus. The only problem with Ficus is, again, if you don't have that bright lighting condition, you're not going to be able to grow them successfully indoors. So just, mind you on that whenever you're looking at plants. Like, I'm always showing you guys plants. I will always give you guys my honest opinions, my care tip insights. And if you're watching this video, please feel free to leave in the comment section your care tips or what you like, what plants you want to see. I'm always open for feedback. And if you're currently watching this in the live premiere chats, leave in the comments what you think about some of the plants. Again, I am all about that engagement on YouTube. If you're not following me on Instagram, please follow me there as well. You can send me a direct message. I like to just engage with our plant foley community. And you can see here we've got Bromeliads everywhere. We've got bromeliads just, popping out of everywhere. These ones for 2024, it is the same kind of price that you would see at a local plant nursery. And they've got more bromeliads right over here. Bromeliads, it is such a diverse genus. Like this one right here is actually cool. This one doesn't really have those like not dark blooms. This one is actually more darker foliage. $13.98 is not bad. And it doesn't really have those bright blooms that you typically see for bromeliads. I prefer the bromeliads that are like this, but have the pink variegation and striping. I think those are really cool, but there's a bromeliad for everybody. I would always say, some plants may fit better in somebody else's personal aesthetic. Like you can see here, these particular bromeliads I often see with the flowers or the blooms. I'm not as big of a fan for that personally, but these are the most common ones you would see. Speaking of common, you can see that we've got a bunch of Phalaenopsis orchids here. I will never get tired of looking at Phalaenopsis orchids and featuring them in my videos. So just know that in pretty much every plant shopping video, you're going to see a Phalaenopsis orchid. You'll also see some ponytail palms. We've got some yucca cane plants right over here. Just lots and lots of large foliage plants. Now with all of the plants we're looking at, this Lowe's particularly keeps up with the health of the plant. Even their I would say even their clearance, or what I would call rescue me plants, do well here. If I am going to buy any plants full price, I would definitely buy it at this Lowe's, just because I don't really see a lot of pests. I have a lot of great positive reviews, and again, their staff is really kind. And you can see here, I featured this in a couple of videos now, but it looks like Live Trends has this like cozy cottage planter series. It doesn't really make sense to me, but you can see that this isn't a bad price. Now, I'm not a big fan of these ficus ginseng plants. I just think that the stump is just a little too much for me. And then we're going to pass by these smaller varieties of bonsai. These ones are the I forgot what specifically this bonsai it is, but anyways, this one's for $18.38. I'm not a fan of Costa Farms bonsai planters. I think they could have gone with more shallow planters, but you can always buy a plant like this and then transfer it into a better bonsai planter. That's what I did with a rescue plant for like a Chinese elm that I bought at Walmart. And then right over here, we've got a Dracaena Dorado. Nice looking Dracaena, again by, is that Urban? No, yeah, it's by Urban Jungle. Urban Jungle just has so many cool little plants. These ones are all for $13.98. This one is another Dracaena. I love Dracaenas as well. And the funny thing is about Dracaenas, actually this is the bigger variety. So these are for $22.28, sorry. But the thing I like about Dracaenas is, again, they're easy to care for plants. I am surprised that I have not collected so many plants. And then this is another plant that I always ask for the plant ID. Please leave in the comments. You can leave a timestamp for this particular plant. I love the look of this plant because it's got that silver foliage on it. And then when you flip it, the undersides of the leaves have a gorgeous looking crimson, almost purple tone to it. I do like the texture of the leaves. I don't know a lot about the plant care tips, so I'm always wanting to learn from you guys. So if you are familiar with that particular plant, give me the plant ID and the plant care tips. I'd love that a lot. And then right over here, we've got an Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. I love me some Epipremnum aureum neon. These are gorgeous looking plants as well. I am all about these neon pothos. Pothos in general, again, are easy to care for plants. One of my goals is to propagate lots of different types of cuttings and then sticking them in a planter so I could have like a mixed pothos plant. That would be awesome. And a neon pothos is just a classic plant that can light up a darker space in your home. That one can tolerate lower light conditions. The more bright light you give it, the more yellow the color is going to look. And then this one right here is actually a unique looking fern. I'm not 100% sure what type of bird's nest fern this is. This has got a cute little planter as well. Kind of matches that vein on this particular fern. But what I like about this fern is the texture of the leaves, but more so that color. It has like a metallic, I don't know, like green shine about it. It doesn't look to be in the best health, but I find this particular fern interesting. It's got more of a a shimmer about it. I don't know what it is, but if you know the specific plant ID, plant foldies in the live premiere chat, or even if you're watching this now, please leave that in the comments. And then this is actually my first time ever seeing kokedamas, succulent kokedamas in these like coconut husk right here. This is interesting. I don't know what this specific type of succulent is, but you can see that they are going more so green, meaning that they're not using plastic. So I really like seeing that a lot. And you can see right over here, we got some Warthias in a kokedama setting. So kokedama is basically a Japanese art of getting a moss ball and growing them and then hanging them. Those are a really cool way to display them. The way you would water this particular plant is you would just dunk the entire ball into water, let it soak, and then just let it drain and hang it back up again. But you can see that that bird's nest fern is looking cute. These all have that sphagnum moss here, and if you want to see more, go to kokodama.com. I would love to see more of those, so I'm going to definitely check out that website. And you can see we've got some more urban jungle plants here, not just Costa Farms plants, but urban jungle plants. I do like them. I just wish they had more simple planters like this right here. This green marantha is really nice looking. These are for $13.98, but I just wish that they had a solid like terracotta planter like this if they were going to go with that, because not everybody's like housing aesthetics or like plant styling aesthetics do well with texture plants. I think they would actually sell more, especially if you're going for like a modern stylish look. A lot of times people go for that modern contemporary look, and that doesn't always work well for people. But anyways, I'm going to get off that rant and look at this Peperomia obtusifolia Golden Gate. I ended up getting one of these actually for $6 at HEB, which is a grocery store out in Texas. And you can see this is another Croton Petra, but this one seems to have dropped its leaves, so it may not necessarily be happy being in a lower light condition. Again, with Crotons, you need to give it a lot of light. They actually grow best outdoors. In most tropical countries, that's where they're used in the landscape. And you can see we've got a lot of live trends hanging baskets with golden pothos. What else do we have over here? We've got a Ficus elastica burgundy for $13.98. Again, this is another plant that I would highly recommend getting high light conditions. You can, I've even grown this in full direct sun in a Texas summer, and it did not burn. So like, you just have to really experiment with the lighting conditions. I will say the more light you give it, the more water it's going to require. And then this is a nice looking Pachira aquatica stump. I think this is really cool. I like this version versus the braided money tree types. I just like that huge stump. And what I love is this is the kind of like look I like, this minimalistic terracotta. It's really nice. And I even like the fact that it's a tall planter. It gives it a little bit more height and depth for your plant styling. And you can see here we've got another Sansevieria or snake plant. Nice looking one. Sansevieria or snake plants are considered easy to care for plants. They can tolerate lower light conditions, although I have found that they can be a little bit more difficult to grow. And we're just going to keep panning over here and looking at some plants. This is super cool. So when you talk about growing plants hydroponically, here is an example of some Dracaenas growing in just straight water. And I do love that Live Trends has this really cool looking fixture where they have like a glass vial and then just that ceramics. I like that a lot. Let's look at the price here. These ones are for $14.98. That is not a bad price at all, and I do like the aesthetic behind it. I would definitely buy the white version, the white planter, but this one is a really cool one. This one is a Dracaena white jewel. Look at that gorgeous variegation on it, and you can see that the roots are super healthy, but that is an example of growing things. So we will have more of those available. And I just like the fact that they have different types of Dracaena, and Live Trends chose a really good plant, although this one is starting to run out of water, so they may need to get a little bit of water into this immediately. But I like this new release. Hydroponics looks like it's going to be something that is trending this year, unless maybe I'm just late to the bandwagon. But I do like growing plants in just straight water, and then I will commend Live Trends for actually having a stylish look about about the way they present hydroponics. And look at that. I love how this like bright light hits this plant. These plants are living their best life. And look at the roots. You can tell that these roots are healthy because they're white and firm, not brown and soggy. So just make sure that you look at your plants. If you're growing them in hydroponics, make sure that you're constantly checking them for, healthy, viable roots. Frequent water changes help. And then you can see right here, these are self-watering. So basically, Live Trends has this little like string wick, and then basically they have a planter here where you just put some water. The string pulls up the water and feeds the plant. These are some cute little baby ponytail palms, and then we've got some more terrarium looking things right here with air plants. This is actually a nice looking watering can, but I'm not going to pay $25 for a gold watering can. I have a watering can that's similar. It's actually a longer spout watering can. And you can see right over here, they've got some more like spring Easter type theme planters. These ones are Haworthias. So Live Trends has some really cool ideas for planters. I understand why, and this one's actually for $9.98. I understand why they want to dress up these plants, because they want a stylish look. Like you can even see right over here, these are the cozy cottage planters. Look at this cool looking Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. This one's got an interesting looking leaf. I'm going to just kind of zoom in right over here. Look at that. That's actually a really cool looking leaf. Love that variegation. Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil is a common philodendron trailing or hanging basket type plant. And you can see right here, I'm not going to pull these out, but this is an Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos, and then we have a neon queen pothos right here alongside a Scindapsus pothos right over here. Nice looking one. All of these are really cool hanging baskets. I don't really know how I feel about that rattan band around it, but that's Live Trends, and Live Trends, they can do that. They've got some stylish planters, although this is probably my favorite release of theirs. And then now we're going to pan over here, and I'm going to show you some really cool looking flowering anthuriums. These are for $13.98. I have 3 flowering anthurium growing in hydroponics, and they are doing amazing. These, like I've said in previous videos, they do very well because their roots are really thick. So I think the transition to just straight water wouldn't be as big of a shock as compared to plants with really fine roots. And then over here, we've got a strawberry begonia hanging basket for $16.98. I think this plant is adorable. I do like the veining on the leaves, the undersides of the leaves. Well, what makes this plant really cool is when it starts to mature, it'll shoot out strings of little baby strawberry begonias that you can actually propagate very easily. I might even just get the green variety, this version as well. I have a variegated one with a bunch of pink variegation, and it is lovely. But we're just going to pan over here and look at all these Costa Farm plants. This Lowe's is super packed with plants. Now that I have like a dedicated plant room in my home, I'm gonna start collecting a little bit more of these smaller Costa Farms exotic angel plants. Like these are so cool. I love this Palea Pan Am. This one is for $7.98 in a 5-inch planter, but look at that. I really like the look of it. Palea plants, they've got the metallic shine about it. And this one is a really cool black rabbit's foot fern. This is probably another fern that I would add. This one is for $5.98. That's not a bad price at all. And we've got some more purple waffle plant. I love purple plants. I already have this one, and it's actually doing very well for me. It's doing a lot better than the Snow White waffle plant and the Belgian waffle plant. Both of those previous waffle plants that I mentioned are a little bit crispy. So we're going to see. And then this is an Amy Dieffenbachia. So this is another Dieffenbachia I don't really see often. You usually see the Camille Dieffenbachia, but this one is for $5.98 in an Exotic Angels Costa Farms release. Really like that a lot. lot. And you know, if you're looking for exotic angels or exotic plants, Costa Farms does a great job offering a lot of varieties of plants, and I do appreciate them. Like this one is a plant that I really need to pick up. I probably should have picked up this one. This is another Palea Dark Mystery. Look at the shine on the leaves. Look at the metallic shine. And this one is a nice, lush, and full one. I wish they had the 598 version instead of the 798. I would rather have gotten the 3.5-inch planter versus the 5-inch one. This one's a little bit large, but if I can't run into one of those, I might just end up getting one of these as well. So that way my Palea collection grows. I've got a aluminum Palea plant. I've got that Pan Am Palea plant, and then I've got the aluminum variegated version as well. And here we've got a gorgeous looking regular lipstick plant. Look at the shine, the natural shine on the leaves. And this one is for $16.98. Do you guys grow lipstick plants, plant foliage? Leave it in the comments. I'm curious to see if you are a fan of lipstick plants, or do you prefer Hoyas? They kind of give me this a similar look about them just because their leaves are kind of waxy looking. And then you can see they've got just tons and tons of exotic angel plants. And here is another Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix, or English Ivy. This one is the asterisk English Ivy. This is one actually that has been enticing me. When I say enticing me to purchase it, I am very careful about purchasing English Ivies just because I've killed about 12 of them. And now I am on lucky number 13 and 14, and they're doing well for me. But here's another Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix Spear Point Ivy is a nice looking one, or no, I say yeah, Spear Point Ivy is a nice looking one. I really like how like narrow the leaves are, how pointy the leaves are. So that's the thing about English Ivy. There's just so many varieties that you would think that if they were an easy to care for plant, I'm sure people would collect them. Because look at this one. Here's another Hydra Helix. This Bettina Hedera Helix English Ivy has some really nice foliage. I like that it has more rounder foliage. It curls down a little bit. It's a little bit larger leaf, and the variegation is gorgeous. I do own this particular Hedera Helix. I have this Hedera Helix as well as the Hedera Helix Gold Baby, and surprisingly they're doing well for me. I think it's because I spray them with my DIY neem oil once a week and make sure that they're right next to a humidifier to keep away spider mites. But I have also found that this coffee plant by Costa Farms is one plant that I might get. Coffee plants, I might try to look for a variegated version, but this one is for $5.98. I kind of want to grow just a basic coffee plant because I do like how the leaves are shiny and it's just a green variety. I think that would be cool to add to my collection. And again, you know, I can collect a bunch of these smaller plants because I have my own plant room now. This is a croton bush on fire. I do like this specific croton because what I've noticed is the lower leaves tend to be a little bit more red, and then the medium area of the plant are a little bit more orange, and then like the top part is yellow. So I like that like gradation of color. So I really like that a lot. And you know, that's a croton I might eventually get in the season. I am confident in growing crotons outside, not so much indoors. So we're gonna see. And that's the thing, if we add all of these houseplants to our homes, what do we do when we live in colder climates, when you know, it snows in the winter or you get freezes? There's only so much space you have in your home. So I have to be mindful about that. I do love pink plants, and I always find Fittonia plants. You know, all of these plants that I mentioned, I know we often see these in my everyday videos. So I am shocked that you guys continue to watch my videos daily, but I appreciate it. I did want to take the time to thank all of the plant foldies that continue to go on my live premiere chats. If you are new to this channel and you're just watching this for the first time live, don't be shy to say hello to the plant foldie community. We welcome everybody, and I just really want to see us grow. I hopefully someday we'll see like 100 people watching my videos live. We've had about as many as 85 people watching at one time, and I really thought that was amazing. But you know, the one thing you can do to help me out is, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, or what my number one cheerleader says, Luke, on the live premiere, smash that like button. It doesn't take a lot of effort, but it does impact me a lot. It gives me a lot of support. It pushes my plant videos out to even more plant lovers like you. So I hope you can hit the like button for me. It makes my efforts to produce these videos, which on average take about 4 hours to produce daily, worthwhile. And that one plant I just picked up is a Dracaena Janet Craig compacta. You already know that if you're going to watch one of my videos, you will see a Dracaena Janet compacta, as well as a Philodendron heteracea Brazil. This one is for $20.98. This is the larger hanging basket. I prefer the smaller hanging baskets for $16.98 by Costa Farms. You don't have to like commit to such a large plant, but you can see they've got even more plants right over here. And we've got some more clearance plants and other plants over here, just the overflow of plants. They have to actually bring out these racks, but I love this about this particular Lowe's. And right here, we're looking at one of my favorite plants, which is also endemic to my country, the Philippines. That is a Epipremnum Epipremnum pinnatum. Pinnatum Cebu Blue. Gorgeous looking plant. And then we've got an Epipremnum aureum Enjoy. This is not a pearls and jade. These are often labeled as pearls and jade, but this is an Enjoy because it has more contrast, like very stark contrast. These are not bad for $14.98 in hanging planters by Urban Jungle. These are Urban Jungle plants for $22.98. So this one is a really cool looking dwarf variety. This is a Schefflera Moondrop. Really like that subtle variegation, that albo white variegation for this one. Mine is doing very well. I have it in some bright indirect light just to get it some more growth. And you can see they've got more plants right over here. I'm going to walk over here, and these are all of the other Costa Farms exotic angel plants that they just had so many they had to get another rack. But we've got this Polea that I want to get. This is a Polea mollis, or a Friendship Valley plant. Look at the texture of the leaves. Such an interesting one. This one's for $7.98. I have a friend. His name is Isaac. He actually runs a YouTube channel called Hi JR Sings. He actually grows this plant, and he is such an underwaterer. So I'm surprised that his plant has done very well. But he grows it, and now I want to grow it as well. It's going to add to my Polea collection. That's the thing when you get a certain plant, you pick up one plant like a Hedera Helix. This Hedera Helix is a Ingrid English Ivy. Ingrid Liz English Ivy for $5.98. Like, you pick up a plant, like you want to start collecting English Ivies, and all of a sudden you're picking up every single English Ivy. That's me with Polea plants. And then here is a Dracaena Sandriana. I'm actually going to get one of these plants soon because this one has more of a bamboo look about it. I do like the neon foliage. And what's interesting is this plant doesn't need a lot of water, and it can tolerate lower light conditions and still maintain that gorgeous coloration on it. So there's just a lot going on when it comes to these plants. I do like all of these hanging baskets. Like, look at this Syngonia. Well, actually, this Peperomia serpens. Let's look at this first. Peperomia serpens is a really nice looking one. This one's for $16.98 hanging basket. This is another plant I might potentially grow. I do like, just look at how the shapes of the leaves look like miniature hearts. Would love to see if they ever have like a variegated Peperomia serpens. That would be awesome to see. And then this is just a classic Syngonium white butterfly for $16.98 in a hanging basket as well. Love Syngoniums. The thing about Syngoniums is they can tolerate lower light conditions. They will get leggy, but the best place to give a Syngonium is you want to give it a lot of bright indirect light. Very easy to propagate. And now we're going to be looking at a bunch of Epipremnum aureum or pothos. Like this one, I believe, is an Epipremnum aureum Snow Queen, unless it is stated as a Manjula, or not a Manjula, a Marble Queen pothos. This one's for $16.98 in a smaller hanging basket planter. Really like that a lot. Look at those white stems as well. It's a slower growing pothos though. And then we've got an Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. Look at that. So there's a lot of varieties of pothos. So if you're just discovering my channel and you're wanting to get into houseplants, please get yourself like a neon pothos like this, or even a golden pothos. They will grow for you vigorously. They're easier to take care of, and you can propagate them. So there's like a 3-in-1, special when it comes to that type of plant. You'll get a lot of happiness from it. You'll see it grow faster, but this one is probably the one pothos I would recommend, and that is the golden pothos. That is the pothos that starts everybody's journey. But you can see hanging all 3 of them. They got the golden pothos, neon pothos, and snow queen pothos right over here. All of them are gorgeous. I would love to propagate many cuttings of each one and stick them all in one pot and have like a combination plant. We'll see, but we're gonna just keep looking at more plants here. This is just a really full Lowe's. And that's what I enjoy doing, is just going to these plant shopping videos. I'm going to go feature some more of these gorgeous Phalaenopsis orchids. This is the first time of me seeing this type of face on a Phalaenopsis orchid. Look at that texture of the leaf, just the coloration. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this video and let you know that I ended up getting those purple outdoor plants. We're going to see if I can grow them. As always, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button and to subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will definitely have some more videos out this week. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie of Grow Folds, and today we'll be visiting some big box stores, grocery stores, just to see what kind of plants we have available in the North Dallas area. And it is a rainy day, but I am going to be visiting the H-E-B in Frisco, Texas. So for all of the plant foldies, thank you for tuning in and participating in the live chat premieres. I typically get a live chat premiere around 7, maybe 8, maybe later, but for everybody who's supported me, I appreciate it. So as you can see, this H-E-B has some plants right over here for $9.97. This one is for $9.97, the sago palm. So they have like an outdoor lawn and patio area. So this is where I'm at. I'm not in the main grocery area. And then we have some Dracaena Hawaiis right over here. We've got some ZZ plants, a quarter-line Hawaii plant, and we have some assorted succulents and more sago palm right over here. Now, some of those exotic angels in those 3.5-inch planters aren't looking too good. And then we have some Epipremnum aureum pothos. They just look a little dehydrated and just need a little bit of water. And then we have some Alocasia right over here. Not sure what type of Alocasia, but it's here. And then we have a bunch of planters and then some really large majestic palms. I swear you will always see majesty palms anywhere. I actually get a lot of my plant supplies at H-E-B because they're more cost effective, like my perlite, my insecticidal soap. We have some Monstera deliciosa right over here. That's a nice leaf unfurling. Love that. And we have some more sago palm right over here. The thing about I like about H-E-B is they do source from multiple areas. And it's a place where you can get some good plants and some rare plants. So we're going to see if they have any. They typically get rare plants from Max and Miles. So we're going to see. Oftentimes you go to grocery stores and you will have to go into the floral section. So the house plants are in the floral section. So we're just going to pan over here and see. So this is, whoa, look at this right here. Do you guys see these like fenestrated Monstera deliciosa leaves? Are these like cuttings? For $5.98 you get 2. So does that mean you can like propagate these and put them in water? Let me see. Or are these just the leaves? So let's just take a look. I'm trying to get it out. Oh no. So it looks like they cut it right above the node. So these are beautiful Monstera deliciosa leaves, but it looks like they just cut up the node. So unfortunately, they will never root just because there's not a node. That's unfortunate because I would think that that'd be cool to actually have the node so you can root it for $5.98. But we do have a bunch of Phalaenopsis orchids right over here. This is definitely a staple at grocery stores, and H-E-B has quite a bit of them. What I like about H-E-B is they do source these orchids from Texas growers, so it's another grocery store that definitely supports local Texas business. And we have different varieties, different sizes. I will say Phalaenopsis orchids are the ones that you will see the most out of any grocery or big box store. So I just want to pan over here. These looks like they are for $20. So they're a little bit more pricey than what you would get. I would recommend going to Trader Joe's of all places to get orchids just because they're very cost effective. They have enough diversity in species to where you don't have to go buy all of your orchids at Lowe's. Now Lowe's definitely has the most diversity in orchids. but look at how beautiful the blooms are. You know, going to grocery plant shopping, you will actually be reminded that you might be able to grow flowering plants. I know oftentimes we grow aroids and whatnot, and they are not known for flowering, at least getting these beautiful blooms. But I think this is really interesting right here. So they have these custom planters with different types of plants. This one right here is for $37.98. So it has like some pothos and some syngonium mixed in. I'm not really a fan of the ribbon though. And we have some more right over here. This one's $61.98. This one is a Epipremnum aureum pothos on a totem. And we have some more lucky bamboo right over here. Do you guys grow lucky bamboo? I used to think they were really cool, and I really thought they would bring me a lot of luck, but I always feel like luck is really what you make of it. Still nice looking plants. And then we have some more kalanchoe. We have some mums or chrysanthemum right over here. The yellow ones are really known to be the New Year's mum. And then we have a bunch of assorted bulb flowers like daffodils, hyacinth, and tulips. $4.98 for these hyacinths right here. They always remind me of Animal Crossing. I remember when I was able to like crossbreed and get a pink hyacinth. That was really cool, and a purple hyacinth. So let me know if you guys play Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Switch. I'm a big Animal Crossing fan. I actually have a whole island where it's cherry blossom theme with just dog villagers. But we'll go back to plants because I know that's what you guys are here for, is plants. And I don't know, just looking at all of these Rager begonias, they're so cool. Like, look at how beautiful the blooms are. And what I like about the foliage too is it is a begonia. It just doesn't have all of like the variegation or leaf patterns of like a Rex begonia. But this is really cool. And I was just curious, for anybody who grows begonias, do you grow these flowering begonia indoors, or is this more of like a patio shade type begonia? Maybe places where they don't get really harsh winters. Do you grow them in the ground for your landscapes? Just let me know in the comments because I would love to learn. And then we have some more of these Rager begonias right here. These are for $4.98, so that's not a bad price at all. And these are all sourced from a Texas grower. HEB is definitely a grocery chain that really focuses on Texas products. So if you are in Texas, in the DFW market or Houston market, definitely check it out. And you can see this is a really cool philodendron pink princess, or a philodendron uribescens pink princess. This one is for $7.98, but it's in like a basket with some like moss and also a syngonium. So it looks like maybe they have plants, just the planters just being covered up. But this is like a combination of plants. I'm not really a fan of that, just because I feel like there's different growth patterns for it. Now, I think the $71.98 is because of the philodendron pink princess. That is a beautiful syngonium as well. And these philodendron pink princess are sourced by Maxim Miles. And we're gonna pan over here. So there's a couple more plants on this side as well. We're just gonna look at some of the plants slowly and see what they've got available. We have a Hydra Helix, guys. This Hydra Helix, or English Ivy, is a beautiful one. This one is also custom blooms by HEB. This one is for $48.98. So it looks like it's on like a planter and just a really lush Hydra Helix. And then right over here, I think, is another syngonium in a custom planter. We're going to see how much it costs. If I can just get a hold of it, I can't. But that was a beautiful syngonium nonetheless. And then we have some interesting fern right here. We have a spathiphyllum or a peace lily in this planter with some Hydra Helix. Some more Hydra Helix. This is a Hydra Helix, syngonium, and Rager begonia basket, custom basket. Really nice combination. I would just be curious to see if the Hydra Helix wouldn't end up getting spider mites with all of these plants. I just would think that they would need a little bit more humidity. But look at how beautiful this Hydra Helix is, or this English Ivy. Very lush. We're going to see how much it costs. This one is for $68.98. I definitely wouldn't buy this combination of like a syngonium Hydra Helix. Both plants are very susceptible to spider mites. I would not buy it, but nonetheless, it's nice to look at. And this one is for $25.98, another Hydra Helix or English Ivy. So the thing about it is, I've always wondered, for like English Ivy, how they don't get like spider mites in a grocery store. So that's just a question I would ask. And then we have a hanging basket, a string of dolphins right over here. Really beautiful looking planter. And this one is for $19.98. So a little bit pricey for a little hanging basket of string of dolphins. I don't really grow any string of anything. I would consider doing maybe a string of hearts variegated, but that would be it. I just feel like they need a lot of bright indirect light and they get a little leggy. I do think that this string of pearls is really cool. String of pearls, and these are all by Living House. So these are all sourced again by HEB, and these are local grocery or local growers. Now I think this is really cool. So this is a Calathea plant, and what I think is interesting is look at the blooms right here. They look like I don't know, maybe some type of like sea urchin. And then how much is this? It doesn't have a price, unfortunately, but that's really cool. Some kind of sea urchin or some kind of like alien thing, because look at that, just the shape of it. Really cool blooms right over here. Now let me know in the comments if this is another plant that you could possibly grow indoors. I would assume that since it's a blooming flowering plant, it needs a lot of bright indirect light at the least, or maybe even full sunlight. I just find that, you know, grocery stores will always capitalize on floral. So yeah, that was just an interesting one. And these are all air plants or Calathea air plants. This one is for $4.98. That's really cool. I might consider air plants because they're actually a living plant. It's not, sometimes they think that they're fake plants, but they're definitely living, and they're living their best life right now, being on that gold bowl. And then obviously we have some miniature anthuriums. I still don't know the price for these, but these are beautiful. I really like the purple lavender one right here. The planter is cute. I think the planters would have been better if they just didn't have any texture. Like if it was just a solid, like smooth matte planter, that would have been really nice. Plant folies, let me know what you guys think so far of these plants. If you're going to be inspired to look more closely at grocery store plants, just because big box stores, you will always find plants, but like grocery stores, you would be surprised about some of the rare plant finds you would find. This one right here is a Max and Miles plant. This one is for $9.99. This is a Syngonium robusta. This is a beautiful Syngonium. Syngoniums are my favorite plants to grow. The reason why they're my favorite is they're easy care, and the propagation process is so easy. You can literally multiply and grow a whole Syngonium forest. So really like that. I like that there is a green underside of the Syngonium. I will say Syngonium are really the pests that they're most susceptible would be mealybugs and spider mites. So just be on the lookout for that. I always love looking at coffee plants. I've never grown a coffee plant, but what I love about coffee plants is you can see that they have that like shiny foliage. They're a little bit more delicate. They kind of remind me of like the China doll plant. And then we have another type of fern right over here. I feel like this is a fern that's a little bit too delicate for me. The foliage is just a little too delicate for me to really add in my collection. Nonetheless, it's cute. Those are for $9.99. And then we have some more assorted succulents right over here. We've got a really beautiful bird's nest fern. This one's nice. I like the neon foliage more so, and this is by Max and Miles again. Max and Miles for HEB. This is basically HEB's like houseplant brand. And this one is a beautiful Peperomia or Tussifolia. There's the green version. It's still nice. The thing about it is, look at right over here. I knew that HEB would be carrying that. I was looking for a Monstera Thai constellation at this location, but we are treated with some more philodendron ring of fires. Beautiful philodendron ring of fires. Absolutely stunning variegation. A really nice size pot. Not a fan of not a fan of the planters, but this one is the Ring of Fire, and it's in a grocery store. Tell me that you would see a Ring of Fire about 3 to 4 years ago at a HEB or any type of grocery store. I would say you're dreaming, but now it's gotten to the point where these plants are more accessible, and these ones are for $21.98. So it's a little bit cheaper than the Grower's Bench version at Walmart. Philodendron Ring of Fires, those are for $24.48. So just a little bit less expensive, and actually the variegation in size are comparable to each other. So if you are in the DFW area, definitely check out the HEB in North Frisco. just to see if you would like to get a ring of fire. I did want to go look at this really cool agave right there. Love that green on green variegation. That's another favorite of mine. And then look at this beautiful succulent right here. I'm gonna go do my research on some succulents. I think if I was gonna add any succulents, these two would be the one, just because look at how beautiful that variegation is. And even this purple green variegation, or this lavender color right here, this is absolutely stunning. The thing about syngoniums, and how much is this one right here? This one is for $14.99. The thing about succulents is you don't want to overwater them. I think that's the reason why a lot of people kill their succulents. Like, you can literally not water them for like a month or two and they are good. But I did want to pan over to the Ring of Fires. This is a beautiful Epipremnum aureum Enjoy. It might be mistaken as a Pearls and Jade, or maybe it's a Pearls and Jade, not 100% sure. I think it's a Enjoy though. Enjoy have been a little bit less common to find at big box stores or grocery stores. So I'm not sure if it's just the growers haven't been sourcing these places. But this is one of my favorite Epipremnum aureums or pothos. I would love to do a bunch of cuttings of these, propagate them, and put them with like the global green pothos. I think that'd be cool. But I did want to look at these Ring of Fires again. Absolutely stunning Ring of Fires. I'm happy with mine. I need to repot mine in one of these planters that I bought from Target called Threshold. And what else do we got? Oh, here is another discovery. So now we've found some, I would say, Philodendron Pink Princess and Philodendron White Knights at HEB. So if you are in the Dallas area, definitely come around here. These are like discreetly placed. So this one is actually a Philodendron White Knight, and you can tell that it's a White Knight because of the stems. The stems have white on it. The Philodendron Pink Princess has white and pink margins on their stems. That is a nice looking one right here. Let's pull this one out, and this one actually is a Philodendron Pink Princess. You can see there is a little bit more pink on the stems right over here. And this is the Fairy Tale collection by Max and Miles. So I'm thinking like Growers Bench might have sourced it because they look very similar in size, and even the planters. So I'm not 100% sure. These ones are also for $21.98, and this is beautiful variegation of this Philodendron White Knight. These are beautiful variegations, and the pricing is not bad at all. So yeah, this is a Philodendron White Knight. It's a little bit smaller, so not all of the philodendron are created equal, but I'm really satisfied with the ones that I bought at Walmart a couple weeks back. I will say the white variegation on my White Princess is browning, so I don't know if I need to put some silica just to help with the variegation. And we have some more Philodendron Ring of Fires right over here. This one is also the Fairy Tale collection. These ones are in the same size planters, and look at how beautiful the variegation is on these Ring of Fires. I'm actually curious, and maybe even wanting to experiment buying another Ring of Fire and planting like, 2 in a pot to make it more full. Or have you guys do you think that it'd be better just to grow one and just let it really develop? I do like the growth pattern of it. It doesn't necessarily have to grow up a pole. It becomes more like clumpy, I guess. But these are beautiful Ring of Fires. I love the variegation on that one especially. It's got some really strong sectoral variegation. Ring of Fire is amazing. I do need to get the Philodendron Jungle Boogie, because then I'll have the Philodendron Golden Crocodile, Philodendron Ring of Fire, and then the Jungle Boogie would just be the typical green one. But I am going to pan over here. So as somebody who's shopping for their groceries, you'd be surprised if you didn't look closer to see that there might be some like wish list plants that you can find at a grocery store like HEB or just any grocery stores. We're going to visit a couple today in a big box store, but I did want to point this out. This is really awesome, considering like Lowe's doesn't have any of these like Philodendron Pink Princess, White Princess often, and Ring of Fire. So I think that grocery stores this year is the place to be. Definitely check that out. And so that was a really cool experience to go to this HEB. There's another HEB I'm going to try to go to soon that's in my area, but we've visited the McKinney one. Now we visited this Frisco one, and now we're going to go to another grocery store. This is actually night shopping, and this one is at Sprouts Farmers Market. Now I visited the Sprouts before, where they had a bunch of these Ficus lyrata for 99 cents. So we're going to see if they're still available, and they had some like hanging baskets by Living Trends for $4.99. I ended up getting a Epipremnum aureum pinnatum, not Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue, sorry. So last time we went here, they had a bunch of dormant roses, and now they're pretty much sold out. These were originally $14.99. Now they are $2.99 on sale, and there's only 3 of them left. So really fast that they sold once they put them on sale. I know that this Sprouts, I talked to the staff, and they say they really do deep discounts because they try to liquidate their plants. So this one is off of Custer Road, actually across the street from the Home Depot in McKinney. So there's just plant options for me to visit, and you can see that they still have those hanging baskets right over there. We have some more Phalaenopsis orchids right over here, the miniature forms. These are really cool, and these are for $12.99. I want to go show you what these look like. So if you go to a grocery store, the staple of a plant you will see is a orchid for sure, a Phalaenopsis orchid to be more specific. Now with Phalaenopsis orchids, you just have to water them maybe once a week thoroughly and then let their roots dry out completely. And yes, these are still the hanging baskets on sale. They're a little bit more dehydrated because I don't think they've watered these since I've visited. This one is a red Marantha. Beautiful little red Marantha. I think this is salvageable. Then we have another Epipremnum aureum Enjoy right here. You can really see that it is Enjoy just because there's not a lot of speckling. It's very much sectoral variegation. I ended up buying one like this about a week ago. So I really like that. Easy plant. It's a little bit slower growing of a pothos than the other pothos. And then we have another Philodendron hederaceum green form, or a Philodendron cordatum, however you want to call them. This is for $4.99. This used to be $14.99. So you're saving quite a bit of money, and the planter itself is really nice. I do like the macrame hanging as well. And then we have another Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. This definitely needs some water because I feel like if you put water, it will perk right back up. And then we have another Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue pothos. This is really nice. I was looking for a bigger hanging basket, but I can settle for this small one, and I ended up buying it for $4.99 recently. So there's still quite a bit of plants on sale at this Sprouts. I really like that. Let me know if you guys like the orchids I'm featuring here, or what you think about grocery store plants, because right now it looks like all groceries are carrying all of these bulb plants, like these hyacinth, and these ones are for, let's see, $7.99 I believe, and this is a beautiful pink one. Hyacinth are so fragrant. I absolutely love it. They smell so good, and I might actually just add it. I just feel like if I add it though, it's going to be very seasonal. It'll end up just dying after the season, but these are beautiful nonetheless. Let me know if you guys grow hyacinth. They always remind me of Animal Crossing New Horizons, so if you play that on your Nintendo Switch, let's connect. Maybe you can visit my island. I don't know. I know that the plant foldies, or my grow folds plant community, is really growing. I love that you guys all tune in to my live chat premieres. I love interacting with you. You know, there's a couple of ones I wanted to shout out, like thank you Alfred, thank you for Dreaming Green Nursery, thank you Jai for hopping on, thank you Tree for hopping on. There's a whole list, and I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I have that list down for the next video. I definitely want to shout out all of my regulars for sure, so if I forgot you, I don't mean to. It's just I also have to comment on the plants as well. But all of the regulars that come visit on the chats, thank you so much. Now this is really cool. This looks like a Dracaena white margin, but it's not. It's actually by Urban Jungle. This one is actually a bromeliad, just not in bloom. That's really cool too. I like that Urban Jungle is also sourcing to grocery stores. I find that quite interesting. And then we have another Alocasia poly right here, or African mass Alocasia. You can see there's some yellowing here, which kind of signifies that potentially it could have spider mites. That's exactly the signs of spider mite damage, or spider mites, especially on a poly or Alocasia. And these ones are also the standard form. These we're told that they're $14.99, so we're gonna see what that looks like. And then we have another ginseng ficus right here. That's really cool as well. I like that a lot actually. And then what else do we have right over here? We're just gonna look at this Alocasia. This is a really cool Calathea vittata. I actually would love to add this Calathea just because of how beautiful the green on green variegation is, and it doesn't have like the purple undersides. It's more on green. I like the green on green variegation as well. I think green plants, you know, I think a lot of people want variegated plants, me included. But green is also nice. And we have some hanging baskets here. So these hanging baskets are sourced from Urban Jungle, and this Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos is $16.99. So like, look at how lush this is. I'm actually considering buying this particular one. I saw it last week, because if you go to Vigoro at Home Depot, they're for $19.98, and they're not nearly as lush and trailing, and they're a little bit more expensive. Now, Costa Farms also has some beautiful hanging baskets, but they're also $19.98. So I'm thinking if I'm going to go buy another hanging basket like this, I will go ahead and look at Sprouts, because $16.99 is not bad for this, and it's already trailing. It's got pretty decent variegation. You know, I could cut it back a little bit to get rid of some of the greens, or just really flood it with a lot of light, and then I'll be able to encourage more variegation. That's the thing about Marble Queen Pothos. You have to give it you have to give it more light, otherwise it will revert back to green. Same thing with like the Golden Pothos, which is right above there. It looks like it's a little dehydrated, and these ones are for $6.99. A Pachira aquatica, or a money tree plant, braided. This one's really cool, and I've seen this a lot where they have like the coins to look like money. Like for the money tree. That's a little corny, not really for me, but I do like the plant. I'm looking for a variegated version, and we have some more hanging baskets right over here. This one is some type of fern. Let me pull this one out. I saw this in the corner. This is a Marantha lemon lime, or a green Marantha. This is really nice for $16.99. I see this often at like Lowe's for $19.98 by Exotic Angels Costa Farm, but this one is actually a little bit more cost effective, and it's still pretty healthy looking. There might just be a little bit of yellowing. Definitely hope that somebody will pick that up, because I don't know if they necessarily water all their house plants here. I know Whole Foods definitely does, and I'm so happy that they do that. But this is, you know, their little section. And surprisingly, that little section had some really nice plant finds for anybody, and then they have some more overflow of plants here. These are all for $14.99. So we've got some Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, a Dracaena, and Ficus elastica, just a regular one right over here. That's really cool as well. So if you like, you know, rubber trees. I'm not really a fan of the sphagnum moss, or the moss, fake moss there. There's a Dieffenbachia right over here. Somebody was telling me actually Dieffenbachia in the comments can actually tolerate partial shade, so I might consider it. There is a Dieffenbachia at Lowe's I want to get. It's got that green on green variegation, so on my next shopping trip at Lowe's, since it's on sale for $14.98, I'm gonna get it. But we have some more Dieffenbachia right over here. What else do we have? We have some Phalaenopsis orchids. I will feature these because I think Sprouts has some really nice looking orchids. And we have some more urban jungle plants right over here for $14.99. We've got another Alocasia poly, and you can see the difference between this Alocasia poly versus the one in the crate. This one doesn't have any yellowing leaves, so that one is still fairly healthy and hasn't been attacked by spider mites. And there's another Alocasia poly right over here. I do like the texture of the leaves. I just wish it wasn't as susceptible to spider mites. I mean, have you guys ever had plants that you really want to grow, but you know it's going to be susceptible to spider mites? Alocasia poly is one of them. This is a beautiful bird's nest fern. Again, this is really nice. I would probably add one of these if I actually had more space in my collection, but I am going to try to get this bromeliad right over here. But we're going to take a look at how beautiful this Alocasia poly is. Absolutely stunning, and yeah, really nice looking right over here. And then we have another bromeliad. We have some more Epipremnum aureum hanging baskets. These are all for $4.99. This one is the Cebu blue pothos, looking very dehydrated. And let's see what else we have over here. We have some more Phalaenopsis orchids right here. And that's the thing, whenever you go to any grocery store, Phalaenopsis orchids are typically the staple at any grocery store, and these are for $14.99. Look at how beautiful the patterns are on this specific orchid. And that's the thing about orchids, they come in so many colors, varieties. I would assume there are hundreds of different types of orchids. I love orchids as well. I just don't grow them in my house collection of plants just yet. I'm definitely looking to get me a Vanda orchid, but you know, Phalaenopsis orchids are just easy to find, and apparently their blooms can last for about 2 months or so, just depending on your care. So that's something that I might look at for the future. I'm just going to go ahead and keep looking at some more of these Phalaenopsis orchids right over here. And that's the thing about late night shopping. There's not a lot of people out and about. So Sprouts is not too far from where I'm based at, and I love it. And let's see, we have some cute little live trends planters, and these are more of like the Valentine's season. Look at this one right over here. These are some bird's nest Sansevieria, really nice looking planter. I actually like the matte finish on it. It looks like a candy, some kind of candy. And then we've got a philodendron moonlight. That's a very small philodendron moonlight, but you know, as it matures and grows, it's going to be a beautiful plant right here. And then we have another really cute Calathea macayana. Look at how tiny that is. And it's just interesting to see these plants in such a small form. And this is another Sansevieria fernwood. I really like that a lot. And these are all for $9.99 by Live Trend. So we're going to go walk over here again and just take a look at some more of these plants by Urban Jungle. So the next one right over here is we're going to be looking at another big box store. This is the Lowe's Prosper. I visit this Lowe's often, maybe every couple of days, to kind of show you what kind of plants they have here. I'm hoping that this place was restocked. The last time I visited it, it looks like they were getting ready to restock. There was a lot of plants that were kind of liquidated, and they've kind of made some more room. But we're going to walk over here. It has been raining a lot in North Dallas, so it's been very gloomy. The sun hasn't really been out. I don't really like being out and about when it's gray and gloomy, but you know, plants actually give you guys a boost of energy. At least for me, I love looking at plants. And right over here we have some camellia. Now remember that plant tour I did at Callaway's Nursery where there was so many beautiful blooming camellias. This is a bush that I would love to add to my my outdoor garden at some point. I just have to get better shade, so I'm just waiting for some of my trees to grow a little bit larger and create a really nice canopy so it could shield some of those shrubs like camellia or azalea that need a little bit more shade. But we're gonna walk over here, and it looks like there are less plants, so they're starting to move some plants around. So I'm going to assume that within the next couple of days, they'll get a big palette of plants, and I'll be able to kind of show you and report what plants they have. And then this has been a Calathea that's in water by Live Trends that I've been looking at for about a month and a half. It hasn't grown any leaves. It is about to lose one leaf, but you know, part of me wants to take this home just because I've seen this plant for a while, but I don't know if I really want to spend $14.99 on a rooted propagation essentially. I think the roots are really cool. This one must have lost the plant. I don't even know. I didn't really see that pothos, but this one right here is a really cool one as well. This is an Aglaonema red Siam. It has some roots, not a lot. The Calathea has more roots actually than the three that I've shown so far, but these are plants that have been around for about a month and a half. And then we're going to be looking at these cool hanging baskets. So what I love about these hanging baskets is the macrame. And this one is by Urban Jungle. And this is an actual Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue. I happen to get one, not this size of a hanging basket. And I'm hoping to let it trail down some more. I love Cebu Blue pothos just because of the narrow leaves and the silvery foliage. This one is for $16.98. Where I'm from in the Philippines, they call that tibatib. So those actually grow just like weeds all over the Philippines. So it's just really interesting that you are selling, you know, big box stores are selling it for $16.98 when you can literally go outside and find it just crawling up, you know, a coconut tree or something like that. We have some more African violets right over here. These are actually not in bloom, so it's interesting that they're still selling African violets. These ones are for $5.48. African violets, they like I said before, they remind me of my grandmother. She grew a lot of African violets. I eventually will add an African violet to my house collection. I'm going to look for some variegated one, and this is really beautiful. So this is a philodendron micans, and what the philodendron micans is basically like a velvety form of the philodendron hederaceum. I love it just because it is a very velvety texture. I love the veining of the leaves, and it grows like a weed. It's very easy to grow and propagate. So that one is by Urban Jungle. And then we have another one right over here, another hanging basket. This is an Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. This is for $16.98. I love the neon pothos. I think it's probably one of my favorite pothos. It's a toss-up between like global green pothos and enjoy, but I do like the neon colors. Like I love plants that have that neon color. So you'll think of plants like philodendron moonlight, pothos neon, philodendron hederaceum lemon lime. I love that yellow foliage. And then we have another Urban Jungle right here. This is just an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Golden pothos, don't sleep on it. It is a very easy plant. I think most of the time people will get a golden pothos to start their houseplant journey just because it's so easy. It has, it can tolerate lower light conditions, and it grows really fast, and you can propagate it quickly as well. And then we have another Syngonium neon robusta over here in a hanging basket. So the thing about it is with Syngoniums is you can grow them up a pole, and when you do, their leaves upsize and get larger, or you can let them trail, although their leaves tend to start getting smaller as it trails down. And then we have some more African violets right here. I do love the African violets just because of the foliage as well, not even just for the blooms. They just have a really fuzzy texture. It almost feels succulent-like. And then we have a Scindapsus right over here in a hanging basket. The only thing about Scindapsus is, as much as I love Scindapsus, just a silvery tone, it is a slower grower, and they can be a little bit finicky. And then here's another Epipremnum aureum golden pothos in a hanging basket. We have more hanging baskets around the corner, but as you can see, this Lowe's doesn't have as many plants so far. I mean, this one used to be super full, and now there's just less and less plants every time I visit, which is fine because that just signifies that they will be restocking. And you got to think, this is just the end of January. At least in North Dallas, we still have very, very cold weather. Let's see, we have another Dracaena hurricane, or a Dorado Dracaena. I actually like this. I would like to add one to my collection. And then we have another Calathea lancifolia. This is by Urban Jungle as well. So somebody asked me to feature a lot more Urban Jungle plants. So this is what I'm going to do, at least for this haul right here. This is for $22.98. What I like about Urban Jungle is they do have some nice, healthy looking plants. I think their planters are nice. I just wish they would be a little bit more minimalistic in their planters. But that's just me being picky. This is a Ficus elastica ruby. We have some more Ficus elasticas right over here. I do think that if you're going to look for a Ficus elastica or a rubber tree, you need to go to Trader Joe's for that. They have better and more cost-effective ones. This one is a Philodendron cordatum that I pulled down. And what else do we have over here? So big box plant shopping, it's really nice. I do appreciate you guys for always tuning in. The live chats are always fun, and you know, I might be featuring the same plants kind of over and over, but if you like listening to me talk about plants, I mean, just tune in, because I do plan on trying to get as many plant videos to you daily as much as possible. Right now I've had to reduce it down to one video in the evening around between the hours of 7 and 8, maybe even 9, depending on what time I can get the footage edited. It does take quite a bit, and I think what takes quite a bit is, as you can see, I flash the plant IDs. Let me know in the comments if that's something you want me to continue to do, because like right over here, this is a Philodendron heteroraceum lemon lime. I've said this multiple times, but I'm really looking for a Costa Farms Exotic Angels hanging basket. I would snag that in a heartbeat. I think that's such a beautiful plant. Which one do you like better, the heteroraceum lemon lime or the Epipremnum aureum neon? They look very similar. Like there's one over here, and then we have some more hanging baskets of pothos right over here. So Epipremnum aureum is the Latin scientific name of pothos. I like to use both, but look at this. That is a neon pothos, or Epipremnum aureum, and this one is for $16.98, and this is a hanging dome. I actually like the pattern of this one. I just like matte finishes for planters. I think they're very nice. I'm not really into like the glazed ceramic ones unless it's like the Japanese ceramics. So that's another subject I would like to discuss on a later video. This one is a Philodendron cordatum, or a Philodendron heteroraceum, or what you call a heart-shaped philodendron. This is just a green version. We have, you know, the variegated ones like the Philodendron Brazil, Philodendron Rio, Philodendron Cream Splash. There's just a lot of variations, and we also have the Philodendron lemon lime cordatum or heteroraceum, whichever one you want to call it. That one's actually nice. It's actually trailing. That's something that I would add to my collection as well. But all these hanging baskets are super cute. We have some more Dracaena right over here. That is a Dracaena hurricane. We've got some crotons. We've got some very juvenile ponytail palms. These are all Urban Jungle plants. This one is the Dracaena hurricane, or Dorado, whichever one you want to call it. I do like how the leaves kind of swirl and curl. If you want to see larger forms of that, go to my Callaway's tour, plant nursery tour. You can see that they actually get really large, and these are for $12.98. I also like Dracaena just because they get large, but they don't really require nearly as much light, and the watering conditions, they can tolerate a little bit, under watering. This one is a croton. I'm not sure exactly what croton this is. It doesn't look like a Petra. It might be something else. So I'm still learning about crotons. And then we have a ponytail palm. And this is really interesting. I'm going to zoom in a little bit over here. You can see that it hasn't gotten like the base yet. And this is for $13.98 by Urban Jungle. So I love Urban Jungle plants. I haven't necessarily bought one quite yet just because I feel like I don't need to be buying a Urban Jungle plant for the planter. I think that's the reason why their plants tend to be a little bit more expensive than like a Costa Farms, just because of the planter it's in. But they have healthy plants. I've never really seen unhealthy Urban Jungle plants. Like, look at this Dracaena right over here. I am about Dracaena. I feel like Dracaena can be viewed, at least this type of Dracaena, from the top view. So maybe having it in your ceiling, not ceiling, your floors, and looking down, or you can put it up on like a plant stand and look at the sides of the leaves, just because you can see all of the margins and the variegation of the plant. So let me know if you guys actually collect Dracaena. I haven't necessarily started collecting Dracaena, but that is something that I will add. I only ended up getting one Dracaena, and that's a Dracaena white aspen. And the thing is, my white aspen actually started having some of the white variegation crisp, so I'm gonna have to like cut some of the brown spots up. This is a red marantha right over here. Really nice looking one. This one looks a little dehydrated, so it needs just a little bit of water. Those are also for $13.98. So that's the thing. If you're gonna ask me what big box I like, I do think that Lowe's typically has more diversity and variety in their plants. But nonetheless, like even Home Depot, you'll be able to find some plants. And then Walmart is coming out with some really nice rare philodendrons. So it's just interesting to see what kind of plants we will see this spring and summer season. Just know that at least in my channel, Grow Foliage, I will try to get you as much daily content and even report that. I do like the fact that we've been able to like grow a plant community slowly but steadily. I see a lot of you guys really becoming regulars. I love that, just because it does give me just joy, just being able to interact with you guys. And as you can see, I've been showing you the plant ID. So as I talk, you'll get the plant IDs, and I hope that it has become really helpful for you to get familiarized with the plants. This is an Epipremnum aureum neon, very easy to take care of. You can let the let the soil dry completely in water, or sometimes you can keep it a little bit more moist. Pothos or Epipremnum aureum are a little bit more forgiving. Same thing with ferns. Now, the thing about ferns is you definitely need to keep the soil moist. They don't want to dry out completely, and they do require a little bit more higher humidity. And I talk about humidity a lot. Honestly, you could just go on Amazon and buy a nice humidifier, and as long as you get your humidities between the range of like 55 to 65, you should be able to even grow like Calathea. One large humidifier put in a room, like my living room, has a really strong humidifier, and it's doing just fine. You can see this Peperonia obtusifolia variegata right there. Very beautiful plant. And I actually really like this Sansevieria right over here. Not know the specific kind. All I know, it is a bird's nest type of Sansevieria. I just want to put it out there. Look at that. Even the planter for once actually really matches, because they have like the lining of it, and it's a nice looking planter as well. I love the bottoms of the planter. That's really cute. I just wish they would have one with like just a solid matte color with no like texture etched in to the planter. But there you go. You get a lot of different types of urban jungles. And then we have some more urban jungle plants right over here. We have got some Dracaena, bird's nest fern, this croton banana. We have a croton petra on the right. And then we're going to pan over here, and you can see there are more urban jungle plants. This one is a Dracaena Hawaii. Really nice looking one. This is one that you would see like at Walmart that they sell for like $9.97. Then there's a Garden Expert one. This one actually is for $22.94, somewhere around that range. And then this is a beautiful Alocasia poly. You can tell this is a super healthy one just because the leaves are just vibrant. It has like a natural shine to it. The stems are nice, and there's no yellowing. If you see any kind of yellowing on this specific Alocasia poly, that might be a sign of spider mites. This one actually is one of the more susceptible alocaceas to get spider mites. And really, alocasia in general are more susceptible to spider mites. They say alocasia actually do better growing outside. You can really grow them and they can really upsize in leaf shape. And then we have another fern here. So you can see that this is the same fern that you saw earlier, but just larger. And then here's another fern here. Love the texture and the natural shine that these plants have. I don't think they really have like leaf shine on these. And what else do we have over here? We're just gonna pan out, and that's a Dracaena Massangiana, or a cane Dracaena. That's really nice as well. I always like that green on green variegation. And then this is one of my favorite Aglaonema, even though it's just really a green one. This one is the Aglaonema white margin, and Costa Farms has released a lot of these in the 1.7 quart gallon. So I like that a lot. This Aglaonema white margin, what makes it special is the very white leaves and just the lining or the margins around the leaf. So that's really cool. I ended up getting one, and then we have some Majesty palms here. You can't miss Majesty palms. They are literally everywhere. And then we have a purple waffle plant. I am in the hunt to get a purple waffle plant. My snow white waffle plant is doing amazing near my kitchen counter and window. It's not crisping. It's actually growing new leaves. So I like that. And then we have a Fatchadera right here, just a regular one, or a Pia tree plant. I like Fatchadera just because they remind me of like sweet gum tree, maple leaves, just that the leaf shape is really nice. And then we have some Hoya right over here. I don't know specifically what this Hoya is. All I know is it's a Hoya, and my plant folies, I know some of you guys have requested to see a little bit more Hoya. If I run into a Hindu rope or Hoya compacta, you know I'm gonna go show you that. It looks like Costa Farms might be releasing some hanging baskets of variegated Hindu rope. So if I find one, you know I'm going to buy it regardless. So here is another plant here. This one is called Beautiful Home Decor. I just think it's really funny that, you know, Costa Farms names it Beautiful Home Decor. I don't know what type of croton it is, but it is a croton. And then we have a Fittonia Ruby Red. So as I've been looking at like exotic angels plants, I do think I might collect more Fittonia. And then we have a bunch of Rex Begonia right over here. Definitely love the pink silvery leaves. Very nice looking indeed. So these are their exotic angels right at this low. So I'm sure that they're going to get new trays of them. And then we have a Dracaena Warneckii White Jewel. This is another beautiful Dracaena right over here. And this one's for $5.98. All of the Costa Farms exotic angels, at least at Lowe's, are for $5.98, which is not bad. And then we have some more Majesty palms right over here. They're starting to look a little unhealthy, starting to look a little dry. And then that one right over there is a Calathea Green Goddess, beautiful Calathea. And this is the same Aglaonema Red Siam I've been looking at in the Aglaonema Pink Siam. We have an Aglaonema Golden Bay. I definitely want to add that to my collection, another large leaf Aglaonema. And these are absolutely stunning. We have some Alocasia Silver Dragon. Silver Dragon is looking amazing, although I prefer the Costa Farms Trending Tropical self-watering planters that they've been releasing at Walmart. It looks like Costa Farms has just released the ceramic ones at Lowe's. So we'll see if they get a different upgrade, or if maybe the self-watering planters are a Walmart exclusive for Trending Tropicals. But nonetheless, loving all of the Alocasia Silver Dragon. And then we have a bunch of Raven ZZs. These are all actually all of the Trending Tropicals right now, at least at this Lowe's, is for $14.98. And then we have these Rhaphidophora Tetraspermas right over here. I think if I'm going to add a Rhaphidophora Tetrasperma, I'm going to go ahead and get the variegated version. So I just need to save a little bit of money. And then this is a beautiful ZZ Raven. So ZZ Raven, ZZ Plants, ZZ Zenzi, variegated ZZ. All of the ZZs are very easy to care for plants. They're a little bit more slow growing, but you know, nonetheless, they're nice. And then we have some more ponytail palms right over here by Costa Farms. Not really a fan of ponytail palm or just palms in general, just because I'm afraid of like spider mites, but also mealybugs. And then this is some form of Diphambachia. Right over here are a bunch of roots of a Vanda orchid. So like I was saying before, if I'm going to add an orchid, I definitely want to add an Vanda orchid, because even if the blooms go away, just the aerial roots has such a beautiful like interest about it. And then this is a nice looking Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. Beautiful variegation. I think that with Marble Queen Pothos, if you give it more light, the variegation becomes less creamy and actually becomes a little bit more white. They do have a snow pothos, but it's basically a Marble Queen pothos that's just more variegated. And then here's a bromeliad. I actually picked up the pot to show you. These are the kind of pots or planters I like. I love these simple matte ones. I think they're gorgeous, and I just like simplicity when it comes to the planter or pot. And then we have some more Phalaenopsis orchids right over here, another Vanda orchid. This one's actually really nice. Love the deep purple, and that one wasn't like food coloring dyed orchids. I don't really like orchids that have been like had food coloring to give them like a really blue color or really purple color. I like more of like a natural look about flowers. And we're just gonna walk over here because most Lowe's, at least in the DFW or North Dallas area, have this little station. Like once you walk in, they have a couple of cinder blocks and some shelves, and these are all for $14.98. This is a Dracaena right over here. So if you want a larger plant, definitely check this out. For $14.98, that is a really nice deal. This is a Dieffenbachia, and I finally got the plant ID. This is a Dieffenbachia Sparkles. Dieffenbachia Sparkles will probably be the first Dieffenbachia I add to my collection, and I might end up just getting the Dieffenbachia at this specific Lowe's location once I am off of my no plant buy. I honestly just have to rearrange a lot of my plants, just really get my house organized, because at the moment I just have a bunch of cluttered plants, and that doesn't really bring me a lot of joy. And then we have all of these trending tropicals as well. This is a Xanthosoma plant right here that we've seen a lot. I think it's really cool. I do like the variegation. It reminds me of a caladium / alocasia. And then we have some bird of paradise right over here, some yucca plants here, Dracaena marginata. We have another yucca plant here, but I did want to walk over here and just show you how beautiful this variegation is for the Dieffenbachia Sparkles. And then we have some Calathea medallion here. These are for $10.98. I do like the new planter that Costa Farms put with this one, just because the planter has more of like a matte finish, a honeycomb type texture. Really cool. And that is an Aglaonema red Siam. We have some more bird of paradise right here. Not sure if it's a white bird of paradise, but nonetheless, those are large plants. And we're just gonna keep walking over here. Some more yucca plants. So all of these plants, these large form plants, $14.98 is not a bad deal. And I really hope that a lot of people will end up buying these plants, just because I feel like if they don't end up getting sold, it's just a waste of plant. Just got to think about how much time it took to actually grow these plants out to this size. We don't really think about it when we go to big box stores, and I actually talked to a couple of big box store employees, and basically they're not as concerned about losing money, because they don't lose money when the plant dies. It's more of the provider like Costa Farms. But here we are at another grocery store. This is at Central Market. So Central Market is actually the bougie version of like HEB. They're owned by the same company, or HEB owns them. And Central Market this one is off of in Plano, and we're just gonna walk over here. So HEB had some really cost-effective plants, so we're going to see if these plants are just about the same. But as you can see, there is a lot more plants, or at least the plant display looks a little bit more fancy. It looks like orchids are, they've got an orchids upgrade program, so that's interesting. So I'm going to assume that a lot of people buy orchids maybe at this location or Central Market. I have never really paid attention to grocery plants until recently, so we're going to see what the pricing looks like right over here. But they do have a lot of plants. I do like how it has like a jungle vibe on it. I noticed that they do have some like cute little fancy planters. But do you see this Hydra Helix right here? This is for $30. That's pretty expensive. Let's go ahead and see what this is right here. This one is another fern for $30. This Syngonium right over here is another Syngonium for $30. This just looks like a typical like Syngonium. So I don't know if the planters are just super fancy or expensive, but I definitely get the vibe that a lot of these plants are just a little bit overpriced. Like this Syngonium right here is $30. Like if you go to like a big box store, you can buy a Syngonium like that. And even like Urban Jungles or Costa Farms plants in these like fancy planters are not that expensive. And then we do have this Dracaena here. I want to know what the Dracaena ID is for this one, because I actually like this Dracaena, and this Dracaena is for $35. I just think that these plants are a little bit pricey. I mean, especially for a grocery store. I mean, granted, you know, Central Market is more of an expensive grocery store. It's like more of like a fancy grocery store with lots of organic stuff. But like, I didn't realize that these plants are that expensive. This is another Monstera deliciosa right over here. And then we have a spathophile and peace lily here. And you can see this is an HEB plant, or at least that's what it says right over here. And that one's even expensive with the planter. So that's just interesting. Maybe they're looking for like, you know, stylistic aesthetics. Here is a wild interior syngonium. So this is a little bit more cost effective. This is $12.99. I like that. $12.99 is not that bad. We have a spider plant right over here. That one's a really cute little plant as well for $12.99. So that's not bad. But all of the other plants that I've seen so far are a little bit pricey. This is some type of Tradescanthia. This isn't the Nanook. So I'm just curious to see if you guys have the plant ID for this. If you do, leave it in the comments. I'd love to know what this Tradescanthia is. And then we have some, you know, assorted succulents. And then we have a bromeliad right over here. These plants look super healthy, so I'll give it that. Like here's a raindrop peperomia. Really nice looking one by Wild Interiors. This is also for $12.99. Love the sheen of the peperomia. That's very beautiful indeed. And just the leaf shape of it as well. So that's really cool. I like that a lot. And, you know, I'm going to be looking for a variegated one. And then we have some assorted succulents here for $10 each. So that's okay, I suppose, for the pricing. But some of the pricing I've already seen so far is a little bit pricey. Let's look at this peperomia obtusifolia. And we're going to walk over here and there are some more plants. I do like the setup here. It has like this jungle vibe. And we have some orchids right over here. These are for $24.99. So, I mean, that's still within the price range for a Phalaenopsis orchid. I would say this one is really beautiful. I wanted to go zoom in on that. But we have some more tropical plants here. Some syngonium. And let's see. This syngonium is another HEB one. And this one is actually more cost effective. That one is actually $12.99. So that's not bad for that. And you can see that that's like actually a grocery store type of plant because it has like that foil wrapping around the planter. This one's a Philodendron Birkins. That's for $30. That's a little bit pricey. I think a lot of these plants are pricey. Let's go see right over here. This is a Philodendron Black Cardinal. I do love this Philodendron. I got one from Wild Interiors and I love the planter in that one actually. That's more of my speed. Definitely. I think Wild Interiors needs to go put more of these white, simple matte planters. Totally would buy that, and actually would buy that if I didn't already have a Philodendron Black Cardinal. It's very nice. And then we have some sort of Calathea here. I don't know the plant ID for this Calathea, but this is also by Wild Interior. Look at how beautiful that planter is. That's the kind of planters I like. I love simple, matte shaped planters. Very nice, modern, contemporary look. That's kind of my aesthetic. So let me know what you guys like in terms of planters. Do you like glazed planters, terracotta planters, planters with texture, kind of like that one with all of like the spikes? So we're gonna see what else we have over here. Here is another Hydra Helix for $30. That's really expensive for me. I would not pay $30 for a Hydra Helix knowing that it's probably gonna get spider mites. But I do like the setup of Central Market. I like the lighting. It's basically an upgraded version of HEB. And we're going to look over here. We've got some beautiful, cute tulips. And we're going to look at this Epipremnum aureum pothos totem. This is for $90. I don't think I would pay $90 for an Epipremnum aureum totem pole, I guess. And then this is $45 for the syngonium. Like, I mean, this is a cool planter, but not for $45, just adding like a planter. And then this Anthurium is also for $45. So that's a little bit pricey. I did want to say that this is quite interesting to go to, grocery store plant shopping. Hopefully you guys like my little collage of different big box and grocery stores. Central Market probably has the most expensive planters by far, or plants. I definitely am not going to catch myself buying plants here, especially since these are easy to find plants. So we're going to see what that looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I'm hoping to have another one for you tomorrow. This is Richie at Grow Folds. Bye.